What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and to another news update for Star Wars Battlefront 2. We have a huge update to go over today. We have 7 new co-op maps, 2 new reinforcements, 4 new blasters, capital ship maps for co-op mode, hero improvements, and so much more. This is the news update you were looking for, so be sure to give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. We're not going to waste any time, let's check out this new content. The first 2 things to go over will be the new reinforcements dropping in this update, the Ewok Hunter for the Rebellion and the ISB Agent for the Imperials. The Ewok Hunter uses a hunting bow as a primary weapon, and they come equipped with a spear, horn, and Wisties pouch, just like in the Ewok Hunt mode. It should be noted that these Ewoks will be playable in all the original trilogy maps, not just Endor. The Empire gets the Imperial Security Bureau, or ISB Agent. This is the first dual-wielding unit on the Imperial side. She uses 2 RK-3 blasters, and her 3 abilities are Assault Training, Imperial Intel, and Double Your Efforts. Assault Training will increase her sprint speed and overall damage reduction, while Imperial Intel will reveal the 4 closest enemies to her, with that number going up the more enemies she defeats. Double Your Effort can only be activated with friendlies nearby, but once activated it will regenerate their base health. Both the Ewok Hunter and the ISB Agent will be classified as infiltrator reinforcements for both sides. Moving on, since this is the Age of Rebellion update, there is going to be a heavy focus on original trilogy content. Co-op mode is getting a huge update with 7 new locations being added. After this update, we'll now be able to play on Yavin 4, Death Star 2, Endor, Hoth, Tatooine, Kessel, and Jabba's Palace in the co-op mode. On top of that, the team at DICE is bringing the new capital ships from Supremacy into co-op. Starting this month, we'll be able to play on the Republic Venator and the Separatist Dreadnought in both attack and defense scenarios in co-op, and hopefully in the next update, we'll be able to play on the Resurgent-class Star Destroyer and the MC-85 Star Cruiser. Now, we're going to move on to probably the most exciting part of this new update, new weapons for the infantry classes. Each of the 4 base classes, Assault, Heavy, Officer, and Specialist, are each getting 1 new weapon with this update. The Assault gets a medium-range blaster rifle called the E11D. The available mods for this weapon will be a reduced recoil, a flashlight, and a single fire mode, which will turn the weapon into a powerful semi-automatic. The way you unlock this weapon is by simply defeating 50 enemies as the Assault class in co-op, and the way you unlock the mods is to get 25, 75, and 100 kills respectively using the E11D. The Officer will get a new pistol that was available in Battlefront 2015, the DL-18. The available mods for this pistol will be improved cooling, reduced spread, and repeating mode, which will enable the blaster to continuously fire by keeping the trigger pulled, making it fully automatic. To unlock the DL-18, you simply have to defeat 50 enemies as the Officer class in co-op, and the way to unlock the mods is to get 25, 75, and 100 kills respectively using the DL-18. Next, we have the Heavy, who gets another returning weapon from Battlefront 2015, the T-21, which was a fan favorite. The available mods for this weapon will be an improved zoom, improved handling, which reduces the recoil at the expense of damage output, and a burst mode, which enables a 3-blast burst with each pull of the trigger. To unlock the T-21, you simply have to defeat 50 enemies as the Heavy class in co-op, and to unlock the mods, you gotta get 25, 75, and 100 kills respectively using the T-21. The last weapon for the Specialist is pretty interesting because this one too was a weapon from Battlefront 2015, however, this was in the form of a star card and was not an actual weapon that you could use. The Specialist will get the Tusken Cycler Rifle, which is the weapon that the Tusken Raiders on Tatooine use. The available mods for this new sniper rifle will be a dual zoom, a reduced recoil, and an improved cooling. The way to unlock it is to defeat 50 enemies as the Specialist class in co-op, and to unlock the mods you gotta get 25, 75, and 100 kills respectively using the Cycler Rifle. Battlefront 2 finally has new weapons. Let me know in the comments which one will be the first that you're going to unlock. Moving on, we have some really good hero changes for both Leia Organa and Chewbacca in this update. Starting with Leia, because she got the majority of the changes, with one of her abilities being replaced completely. Her E11, which is her middle ability, got a big buff, with increased damage and range with reduced recoil and spread. Her shield got a really nice change, which will now heal friendly forces within it for 5 health every second. And finally, her flash grenade got replaced entirely, with an ability called Thermal Detonators. Yeah, plural. Leia will now have the ability to throw 3 thermal detonators which will explode after 0.85 seconds. This ability will then enter cooldown once all 3 detonators have been thrown. In light of the ability change, this means some of her star cards are also getting replaced. The old card Blinded will now be replaced by Fearless, which increases the blast radius of thermal detonators, and her Blinding Reveal card is now called Handy Device, which will reduce the cooldown of thermal detonators. Her Blinding Flash milestone has also been changed to Plenty of Explosions, and in order to complete it, you simply have to defeat 30 enemies using thermal detonators. Chewbacca also got some improvements, specifically to his main weapon, the bowcaster. All this changes is how it shoots when you're either zoomed in or not zoomed in. When you zoom in, the bowcaster will now fire just one powerful shot that allows Chewie to be more effective at longer ranges. When you're not scoped in, it will be a standard 3-shot in the form of a triangle. When you have Furious Bowcaster active and you scope in, it will then shoot 5 bolts in a cross that is tighter than if you're not scoped in. When you're not scoped, it will still be 5 bolts, but in a larger circle instead. These changes actually sound really nice and should make Chewbacca far more viable in longer ranges. This update will also bring some improvements to the AI players. In instant action, they will now be able to play as friendly heroes and enemy vehicles. We're also getting the option to squad up with the AI in instant action, where you'll be able to spawn on them just like in the multiplayer modes. Heroes vs. Villains is also getting some map improvements. We're getting 2 new HVV maps with this update, the MC-85 Star Cruiser and the Resurgent class Star Destroyer from sequel-era Supremacy, and we're also getting some boundary changes to the Geonosis and the Yavin 4 maps in HVV, based on player feedback. On top of that, Hero Showdown mode is also getting the 4 capital ships and Felucia as new playable locations. In honor of the 2 new reinforcements dropping this month, some of the existing reinforcements are getting updated appearances. The Wookiee Warrior, Imperial Rocket Trooper, and Rebel Rocket Jumper will all be receiving updated appearances, with their current appearances being made available as unlocks. On top of that, the Imperial Death Trooper will now use the E-11D as a new weapon, just like they did in Rogue One. The Imperial Rocket Trooper will be equipped with the E-11 for better combat efficiency, and the Rebel Jump Trooper will use an A-280C for automatic fire. The 2 dual-wielding units, the ARC Trooper and the new ISB Agent, will also get updates to their dual-wielding pistols. They will now be automatic and moved onto a single button, where all you have to do is hold down the fire button and both pistols will fire, and this will cause the Power Blast ability on the ARC Trooper to become an alternate fire. Rounding out the reinforcement improvements, the Flame Trooper will get an improved Incendiary Imploder, and the Wookiee Warrior will actually get a Chewbacca-style ground pound ability. Besides all of this, there's also a number of customization options for the UI, where we can now change and move around different elements within the UI to customize it how we want it to look. A few updates back, the team at DICE rolled out a couple of these initial customization changes just to test them out, and this seems to be a continuation of that. While that is the vast majority of the new content and features we're getting in this update, some of our heroes are also getting some updates and changes. These are all the specifics that are in the patch notes, which I will have linked below in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. There's a lot more than just hero changes here. There's also the specifics on the map changes, the trooper and reinforcement changes, and a lot more, so I do recommend you check them out. For the rest of this video, we'll just go over the specific hero changes. First, there's been an added dual zoom function to the weapons of Iden Versio, Bosk, and Finn. There's been visual information added to show that certain hero abilities can be cancelled, such as Han Solo's Sharpshooter, Leia's Rapid Fire, and Chewie's Furious Bowcaster. There's been an issue fixed where the lightsaber ignition sound would not trigger when a lightsaber was activated by an ability, and an issue has been fixed where players could interrupt hero abilities with melee attacks, which is good. Fixed an issue where opponents could be seen briefly hanging in midair if being electrocuted right when they were about to fall, and also fixed various visual issues with the footprints and trails of General Grievous, Yoda, BB-9E, and BB-8. Speaking of our 2 droids, they got some changes themselves. First, increased the support ability score reward for the BB units from 2 to 4, fixed an issue where casting certain effects on the BB droids while using their abilities could cause the death of seemingly random AI players, that's weird. Fixed an issue where placeholder VO would trigger when BB-8 and BB-9E would encounter an enemy hero. Fixed an issue where BB-8's moving animation could break if BB-8 gets interrupted after using the rolling charge. Fixed an issue where a milestone for BB-8 would reward the wrong emote, and fixed an issue where the effortless milestone description for BB-9E would mention rewards using work-in-progress names. Boba Fett got a really good change to his concussion rocket, which will now by default disable enemy blasters for 1.2 seconds when they're concussed. Before, this could only be done with the effect of a star card, Blaster Disabler. That's now been changed to a new card called Augmented Gear. This card will regenerate more fuel for Boba's jetpack if the concussion rocket hits more enemies. Rey had a visual issue fixed where her right eye would not show in its correct position during an emote. Anakin Skywalker got a really bad glitch fixed where the damage reduction from heroic might would occasionally remain after the ability was over. Luke Skywalker had an issue fixed with textures popping up on his hair while he is idle. Iden Versio got her pulse cannon ability improved, where players can now fire while aiming from the hip, as well as fire at any time during the charge-up. Kylo Ren got a community request added, where the last hit of his frenzy ability will now apply damage even if a lightsaber hero is blocking it, and General Grievous got an issue fixed where Unrelenting Advance's animation would sometimes not be visible to other players. And with that, those are the release notes for the Age of Rebellion update in Battlefront 2. This update will go live tomorrow, Wednesday, February 26th, and it will go live at 9 a.m. UTC for PC, 10 a.m. UTC for PlayStation 4, and 11 a.m. for Xbox. We went over all the major content features coming in this update, but be sure you check out the patch notes so you know all the little stuff too. But with that, that's going to do it for this Battlefront 2 update. I appreciate you all stopping by the bazaar. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you like today's coverage, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and that's going to do it from me. I'll see you all out on the battlefront. Peace.